When you feel you're alone, cut off from this cruel world, your instincts telling you to run. Listen to your heart, those angel voices. They'll say to you, they'll be your guide. Back home, life leaves us blind. And love leaves us kind. It keeps us kind. When you suffered enough and your spirit is breaking, you're growing desperate from the fight. Remember your love, and you always will be. This melody will bring you right back home where life leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind. Where love leaves us blind. Love keeps us kind. It keeps us kind. Oh, it keeps us kind. All right, all right. We're having another show today. It is the Mandela Effect. Wednesday, no, wait a minute. Monday show, guys. So, I want to actually have a few things I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm also going to answer questions just like normal. But I actually made some notes. And I had something that I wanted to talk to y'all about. I actually, hey, Preliminimal. Patrick. Yeah, I figured out your name. Preliminimal. So hopefully that's right, brother. But I wanted to talk about, I do a Bible study every single day, okay? And on my phone, I had Bible Gateway put on my phone. And it just popped up Romans 13:6 through 8. And I want to read that to you because at that moment I was having like a doubt in my mind that, you know, maybe I'm possibly wrong on some of these Bible changes and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden I got this notification, and this notification, it put my mind at ease, and I think it will y'all's too. Anybody that's religious at all. So I want to let y'all hear it. This is Romans 13:6 through verse 8. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. Owe no man anything, but to love one another, for he that loveth one another hath fulfilled the law. And to me, that really, really spoke loudly to me, especially about, paying you tribute also, for they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Because I was, thinking about the Mandela effect, and, just having some doubts that if I was wrong on the Bible verses, that I was doing, blasphemy. So I just wanted to put that one out there. And I also have a lot of other stuff I want to talk about tonight. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Any questions or anything like that? Because I'm always open to answer anything. But yeah, if y'all want to check that, it's, like I said, it's Romans 13, 6 through 8, and it's just very strange that popped up. I think if y'all read it, then it'll probably hit home with y'all too. And I'm not trying to push religion because, I'm just not that guy. But I am religious, but I want everybody to know, if you're not religious, I still support all of y'all. Because there is strength in support. As long as we support one another, we're not all going to agree on everything. We're not all going to be Christians. We're not all even going to be spiritual. But I feel that we all need to support one another. So that's just my thought on it. And if, there's definitely strength in support, guys. And, so the more that we support one another, even though we may not exactly have the same theories, may not believe all the exact same stuff, or you may not be religious, or you may be religious, I think we all need to support each other. Anybody that is truly affected, at first, I believe they were like me. They had a really, really hard time with it. Depression, all, just all the stuff that comes with that. Now I'm actually, I can actually laugh now again. There for a while it was very, very stressful. But, I'm coming out of that funk, and I hope everybody else is too. But, I have a lot of other stuff, that I want to talk about tonight, because I've been doing a lot of, thinking, and a whole lot of, research, trying to figure out, if not who and how this is happening, what could be causing, this, anatomy wise. And, I actually have a theory on that, which I don't know if it's right, because, everybody has a theory, and I'm definitely not a doctor. So, I'm going to go ahead and go with that, and go ahead and tell y'all about it. What I have, the conclusion that I've come to is someone or something is causing delusions in the unaffected, or altered perception. Okay? And, with the brain changes, the areas of the brain that has been changed, they all have to do with memory, or recognizing objects, recognizing people, all that stuff. So, a lot of it has to do with memory, which makes you, think, if that all has to do with memory, maybe the ones that are unaffected, maybe our brains have not been rewired or reformed. Maybe that's why we can see the changes. Or, if that's not it, then I have to go back to religion. Then it is a great delusion, and that's why people are not seeing the changes, because they just don't have the eyes to see or the ears to hear. There's so much Bible prophecy being fulfilled that it's unreal. I mean, you have to be foolish not to even look into that. That's just my take on it. And where I grew up in the Bible Belt, I'm always going to look at stuff like that, okay? But like I said, I'm going to support everybody, and I'm going to support, them, even if they're not religious, because, that's part of my religion. Do not judge others, and I have no plan to judge others. So, I'm going to support everybody, and hopefully we can get strength and support and build our numbers up and bust this thing wide open, because I'm so tired of my memories being stolen. If you've had it up to here, if your memory's been stolen, then give me a big thumbs up. It don't cost a thing. And I want to talk about, I've been noticing, Photo Helix has been, he's just been everywhere here lately. He's been on Scarabs. He's been on Awakened Saint. He came in on one of my chats. I'm trying to get him on a show. Actually, here in a minute, maybe if we get a few more people, I'm thinking about having a couple on the show tonight. I'd love to get Patrick on here. I would love to send him a Google Hangout and get him on here, because I believe me and him really think a lot alike. So, no, I would really love to get him on here. I'd like to get Photo on one of my shows soon. And I don't know if y'all caught Scarabs, last 4 or 5 shows, really. But, man, he's reaching, about 200 people in his live streams, right? And, he has like 17,000 followers. And he's up there knowing that he's going to lose subscribers, telling people they need to repent, that they need to look at this, that the Great Tribulation has began, that the Great Delusion is here. And, I totally agree with that. So, I'd just like to give Scarab a big round of applause, because, it really takes a lot of guts when you have a big channel like that to get out there and, speak stuff like that, because people don't want to hear about religion. They don't want to hear about religion. They don't want to hear about politics. But me, myself, I'm never, ever going to deny my Christ. So please don't ask me to do that. And I won't ask any of y'all that don't believe to believe, So that's just my thought on the subject. I'm reading what Preliminimal or Patrick is saying. He says, I'm a spiritual Christian. I don't use the word religion because I think God and Jesus are beyond religion. Hey, brother, I totally agree. The Bible, it's like a guidebook to find Jesus. And, even with the Bible changes, it's still a great guidebook to be able to find Jesus. So, I definitely want people to read their Bible, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. And, a lot of the words, that's been changed, like, they're just like word changes. Matrix, all of them are referring to womb. So if you see the word matrix in the Bible, it means womb. And there's so many more like that. But I don't want to get too far into religion. But I just wanted to bring it up, and, I'm just really happy that people are really stepping up, knowing that they're going to take hits on their subs, because I've took hits since I started talking about Jesus more. But, for the people I lose, I feel like I'll gain back better people. So, that's just how it is. But we've had, Scarab, Photo Helix, Meigs, B, all of them, speaking out on the Bible changes, and, a few more. And I just like to, tell them all thank you and keep up the good work. And if anybody ain't checked out Awakened Saints page, and you're into the Bible changes and stuff, or even interested in the World War III, maybe that could be coming, then check out Awakened Saint. He had a really, really good show with Photo Helix, and I think y'all would enjoy it. Oh, hello, Martha Jane. How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day. We got Chris Fitzpatrick in the house. We got Patrick Glassel. And we got Brandon Halls here, which looks like he has a crown. I don't know who that guy is. We probably ought to kick him out of here. But let's do this. I'm going to add a moderator. There's one moderator. And since Chris is in every single one of my live streams, we'll go ahead and put him as a moderator. And Martha, she was in one too. Hey, why not? Let's give her a moderator also. So now we got 3 people with wrenches. So if we get any trolls in here or any NPCs, anybody's causing any trouble, feel free to boot them on out. Just got home from work. Well, Martha, you have any questions you'd like to ask me? I've covered a few subjects already, about what I think could be happening, especially where the brain is having so many changes. I feel like, since it all has to do with memory and, memorizing objects, I mean, it all has to do with memory. That's what mostly the brain changes are. So I have a feeling that maybe our brains haven't, completely changed, or, maybe we haven't changed completely, with the body changes. And maybe that's why we are not, we are seeing the changes, and the ones that are completely changed can't see the changes. Or, like I said, it's the great delusion, and the Antichrist is on the horizon, which I hope it's not that. Or it could be a simulation. It's one of the, it has to be one of the 3. But even if it's a simulation, to me, or, there's still a spirit in all of our bodies. And I feel like that really don't change a whole lot. It's really creepy, and I hope that isn't it. But, I still feel like people should draw close to their Lord and Savior and try to make sure that they're, right with God. And, everybody just try to repent if you feel like that, that you're not quite close enough. I repent every day because I know I sin every day, even if I'm not trying to. I know I do, so, that's what I try to do. But once again, I'm not pushing religion on people. I'm just talking, and hopefully maybe somebody out there will hear what I'm saying. Because, I feel like things will get worse before they ever get better. I really believe it's going to be a bumpy ride, y'all. I really do. I really don't think it's sunshine and rainbows like some people say it is. I just really don't think that's it. Patrick writes, I think the elect are more super wise. I don't know. If you're talking about like our government and stuff, I'm thinking that's a joke because they're definitely not very wise. Just look around; it looks like they're trying to cause World War III. I don't know, but especially if you look around at this new pope and everything he's doing, forgiving atheists. Uh, he's just doing so much that's totally unbelievable. He's trying to bring Muslims. He's trying to bring all the religions together, and all of these things, are like Bible prophecy, and it's really freaky. That's all I'm gonna say. If Bible prophecy is not being fulfilled, then someone is trying to make it look like Bible prophecy is being fulfilled. So either way, it's not good. None of it's good. So whenever I say it's not all sunshine and rainbows, that's what I'm getting at. You have to be kind of foolish not to really seriously think that this could be, the great delusion spoke of in the Bible. Especially whenever, the Bible's being changed and it says that they will go to and fro looking for the Word of God. It will not be found. That's not the exact verse, but, I'm paraphrasing there. So, there's just so many. And there's so many Bible verses that are changed. Isaiah 11:6. It says the lion will lay with the lamb. It's now, the wolf will dwell with the lamb. And the lion always stand for the tribe of Judea, which was Jesus's bloodline. And then you have the Lamb of God. So, the story kind of falls apart when you add a wolf in there and, the lion's not laying with the lamb. But, I'm just hoping I'm wrong because nobody wants to be alive during the tribulation. But y'all say you can hear me all right tonight? So y'all can feel y'all can hear me all right tonight, because I've been kind of sick and my voice is a little messed up. If any of y'all have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Martha, hey, you know what? I've been thinking a lot about that too. Either a fake alien invasion, or maybe these AIs could even be part of the Antichrist system that's coming. Because they're actually making churches to these to the artificial intelligence. Like it's something special, and they're talking about, we haven't built God yet, but we're very close to creating God. All blasphemy, all of it. No, I've went to church my whole life, and I have heard them preach on the Lion and the Lamb, and I've read straight out of my Bible. It mentions an ox, and I believe maybe an osprey, and a leopard ain't in there. I'll tell you that, and definitely not a wolf. Uh, so when I seen the wolf and the leopard, that's when I knew it was wrong, totally wrong, because I've been to too many church services where I know what they said. Uh, and like the Lord's Prayer, I know it's in two places in the Bible, but one of them said trespasses, and the other one didn't. But now neither one of them has the word trespasses at all, and neither one of them ever said, in earth on them. All of them said on earth. So, that's a big change. And the witch art, it was always who art. So, there's just so many changes. I could just keep going on and on and on and on. I have probably about 50 that I've found myself. But, anyways, how's everybody been doing? Um, is there any big effects that y'all would like to tell me about, or would like to get my take on, or any theories, anything? I'm always open as long as it has to do with the effect. I don't like to veer too far away from it, but I'm always ready, and I will definitely address anything you have to say. Usually QP's here. I don't know if I'm stepping on anybody, if there's any live streams going, because she makes like every single live stream of anybody. She might be in bed though. I don't know. QP's got a wrench too. I gave her one. I really don't think Scott's ever made any of my streams, but it's all good. I ain't worried about it. Cause I'm just here for all of y'all. Uh, does anybody want to join in and have a conversation? Patrick, are you down with that? Martha, any of y'all? I'll put a link up on Google Hangouts, and we'll see if we can get you in here. It's my first time using Google Hangouts, but I like to try it out. If anybody wants to do it, let me know. Can y'all hear me, or y'all trying to make up your mind if you want to come on? If you don't, it's all good. I just wanted to ask everybody, because I know Patrick has some really, really, really good insight on what's going on. Well, Patrick, I'll kind of give you what I think about that. It says that God will send the great delusion, but also that He will allow the Antichrist to do a lot of things. So maybe God's sending the delusion to the people that you know can't handle it or are not spiritual enough, because it seems like most of us are at least spiritual. Uh, but I think he's allowing the devil to do a whole lot too. Maybe the devil's making the changes, and God's just making the delusion for the people that can't see. That's just my thoughts on it. I haven't really come up with a sound theory on that yet, but I really have a feeling that maybe AI, CERN, there's just a bunch of things. Quantum computers, all of them are maybe tied in together, working for a figurehead, or maybe even the Antichrist. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but it's just what I think. So, are any of y'all interested in coming on? If you are, I'm gonna go ahead and put a link. I'm gonna put a link up. I believe this is what you do, the Google Hangout link. Let's see now. Now, I think that's how you do it. Put your you copy and paste your Google Hangout link. So, if anybody wants to go on, click on that, call me, and we'll do this. And if you don't, my feelings ain't hurt. But I tell you, my feelings are hurt that ain't nobody else showed up. They hurt my feelings.
Testing.
And if you don't, my feelings ain't hurt. Preliminal?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hey.
My feelings are hurt that ain't nobody else showed up. You might want to mute your computer.
Oh yeah. 1 sec.
Okay. And if anybody else wants to join, go ahead and click on that link, and we'll talk. Are you there, Patrick?
Yeah, I just had to get my headphones.
Oh, okay. I hadn't even went that far. I don't even have headphones yet, but I'm working toward all that. It's the first time I've even been able to use the Hangouts, which that's pretty cool that it's working. So how you been, man?
Frustrated. Thankful for all that's good, and just conflicted in a way with a lot of complications, and I'm just trying to get the right perspective on all this.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there's so many ideas about what's going on, and I really don't think anybody has totally figured it out. They may have a few things right, but nobody really knows what's happening. And I'm the type of person that I really am probably going to keep digging if it takes me 10 years to figure out what's going on, because I just don't see myself giving up on it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm just frustrated with. I gotta get this microphone. Sorry. There, fixed it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I just have this headphone that doesn't work too good.
Well, I just have a cheap mic myself.
It's the cord's broke. Sorry.
So, were you the one that was talking about your lease had changed or something like that.
So what? Oh, sound keeps going off.
Was you talking about something about your lease had changed or something to that effect? Something about a lease?
Okay, back. My headphone's not working, so I might have an echo.
Well, I really don't. It really don't bother me. So,
Okay.
but oh
Um,
yeah, maybe you was the one that was saying that that you had called your landlord and had expressed that maybe you was wondering what all they had, and then they called you back and was acting like they wanted to show your house or something. Is that what you were talking about? Or are you there, brother? If you're talking, I can't hear you. Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk for a minute because I always was kind of wondering about the people that talked about seeing like new structures pop up, family members disappear and new ones reappear, stuff like that, and about just stuff like that. Well, I had been uptown like 2 weeks before, and then I go down this same road and I look over and I see a giant apartment complex that was never there. I mean, it is giant. I mean, there's no way it could have been built in 2 weeks. Maybe in 3 months or something like that. But it's so huge it just couldn't have been built that quick. So when I seen that, it really, really blew me away. I mean, really blew me away. Um, and also, another thing, I have an aunt, uh, Aunt Jackie. Me and my sister both are affected, and we both know that she died uh, back in the 80s. She was in a real, real bad car wreck, and she died. Well, evidently, she is alive. It really blew me away. So, that's just very strange to me. I never thought that I would have effects like that in my life, but now that I'm seeing them, it's just really kind of blowing me away the more that I see.
that's amazing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it really just blew me away. I'm still kind of dealing with it because, like,
Reminds me of the guy in Japan who has been seeing where he's stationed has been seeing places changing streets and locations of places there.
wow, wow,
Need Input was his channel.
need input. I'll have to definitely check that out.
Yeah. He's a teacher there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
mean, he's in the military and he teaches for children's schools at the same time.
Right. Well, that's really cool. Really cool. So, what kind of art do you do, Patrick?
I've been making kind of a surreal abstract expressionism since I was very young. It's just been ongoing. I don't like to categorize it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And I think I like the art to speak for itself rather than.
Right, right. I totally understand. I mean, that's the way I am, whenever I write music. But has your art changed since you discovered this effect?
No,
It hadn't? Wow.
no, I still like. I mean, it has changed over the years, just in.
General.
It's. I think maybe in a way, it is a lot less. I think it is. It has changed in a way as far as the attitude of it and the spirit of it isn't like
Yeah,
So
I
I think I
totally
was more.
understand that because I just don't feel at home anymore. I feel like I just kind of feel out of place. Probably 75% of people I come in contact with within maybe 5 minutes talking to them, I can almost tell if they're affected or not affected because they're just totally different. It's almost like there's a different species of humankind on Earth now. It's just very strange.
I've been noticing that too, and that's hard to describe. It does feel like a kind of lower plane.
Yeah, yeah, totally. They're either like distracted and it's usually people that kind of think highly of themselves. They're not very compassionate,
Right.
things like that. Um, so,
And sort of impersonal. It- it-
yeah,
Impersonal in the sense of like they're just kind of in just a clammed up kind of or they're somehow out of like you can't really talk to them on a mutual kind of wavelength. And I've been so isolated for just the last 10 years. I haven't had any like I haven't been talking to people. So just talking for me is something. It's I'm not used to talking. I've just been in such a unsocial life. So pardon my lack of verbal finding the words to communicate.
right.
I'm,
I've had such a hard time relating to these people. It's like just like you said, it's like we're on a different wavelength.
yeah.
And then the ones that I do, I think that they're awake. Like I had, let's see, I had five people, and three of them are still awake, but the other two, it's like they're totally back asleep now. Their answers are different. If I ask them the same questions, the ones that woke them up, it's like they've took an upload or something, and they're just totally different now. Have you seen anything like that in your life?
Yeah, when I asked my dad about JFK,
What did
and
you say?
he, at first, he said 4 people. I said, how many people do you remember? This was before I showed him footage. And then, why am I hearing an echo? Then, after he saw the footage, he was startled. Oh, wait, right. But then suddenly, something seemed to, like, he suddenly became indifferent to it, like something in a sci-fi movie. Like he just totally became oblivious and lost interest. He didn't even want to pursue the subject. And this
Yeah,
really bothered me ever since that
hey,
response.
Patrick,
Because I
is there any way you can speak up a little bit, buddy? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
without headphones are
There you
make
go. There you go.
one of the things at that day was that I thought he was about to it looked like he was about to express ask questions and was interested to understand it, and then suddenly like something just seemed to program like where he but either cognitive dissonance or he lost interest, and which is not like him. Like normally he would have wanted to read what was below the video and about Mandela effect and all that. Instead, it just like he was like suddenly looking at world news again, as he was doing before I brought up the subject.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I
but he
totally understand.
he was clearly shocked at first.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they're like in, and I mean, they just like tune. I don't even know how to explain it. My cousin, I
Mm.
thought he was awake, and then the
Yeah.
next time I seen him, I started trying to talk to him about it because I know how it, affected me. I still hadn't been able to not think about it every day, so I tried to talk to him, and
Yeah.
he just started he just got into his phone and was just tuning me out. I mean, completely. And I was like, what? Really? Wow. And I had actually a girlfriend of mine that I thought she was awake, and I seen her was talking to her about it, and she just started petting her dog. I mean, petting my dog, like in tuning me out. I mean, it's just all very strange to me. The people I thought were awake, half of them ain't anymore.
It's a whole different kind of humanity going on. And like if I'm walking around at the mall, just observing people. I do a lot of portrait art, so I'm really good with understanding the facial structure and eye structure, and I kind of sense the essence of people when I look at them, their energy, and if it's you get all different kinds of moods just by looking at a person. And I mean, sometimes you could be off. I don't like to be too assuming, or of course, you kind of sense the essence, and just comparing that to like walking through malls and stores in the 70s and 80s, it just seems like a whole different kind of it's not even, it's a whole different world. It isn't anything like how it was.
No, it ain't. Not at all. I mean, even if you look back to let's say 2000, 95 through 2000, the things that you could look up in the sky and see, the movies you could watch, the music you could listen to, uh,
Hmm.
all that stuff is so different now.
Yeah.
Uh, and nobody is even noticing it. They're
Yeah.
not even seeing the two suns in the sky. They're not seeing
Right.
the rainbow clouds. They're not even
Mm.
thinking about the rainbow mountains or all these great walls popping up or how strange the anatomy looks. How messed up South America is, how long Baja California is. And there's just so much. I don't see how they can't see it. I really don't.
There must be that must be a sign, some kind, that there's a whole different mentality, or maybe even a unhuman. Uh, maybe those are aliens. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't either because I truly feel like that they, maybe it's the, like I was talking about at the beginning, the brain changes. Maybe, we haven't took that brain change. Maybe our bodies have changed a little bit, but I can't really say that I feel any of these, upgrades as people are calling them, saying, how our bodies are getting so much better and all that. I can't say that I feel any different. So, maybe we didn't take this upgrade, and maybe all these other people have taken the upgrade, and that's why they can't see. Maybe that's why this delusion that they're having makes them think that we're the ones that's delusional.
I was thinking somebody said something on Scott's show earlier that maybe they're seeing the old Earth, and somehow it's in the same exact place where we are, and we're seeing all these changes that they're not seeing. Maybe they're even seeing everything as it was in Sagittarius. I don't know.
Yeah, I
But the
mean,
thing is, yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I mean, go ahead, brother.
I mean, what are we gonna do now after all? I think everyone's been wondering that. Well, what do we do with this? And is there anything, the God is calling us to do, or is there? because trying to bring it up to people that are not seeing it, that don't see the changes, is usually results in just them thinking you're crazy and they're not going to talk about it. When I
Well,
brought up
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
on the F, and
Huh?
he just thought like nothing, like it was always that way. Nothing.
Really? Listen,
Yeah,
this right
yeah.
here. I had a friend. He was an LPN. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
I'm picking his brain daily on the
Yeah.
body changes because I know he was an LPN, that he could answer the body changes, but I didn't know how bad it was freaking him out. And his
Yeah.
answer was always, well, they've always been doing that. They've always been doing that. And I said, well, yeah, maybe they have, but I'd just like to get your take on, what's going on. And one day he just quit coming by. He never really answered any of my questions. And then I seen I was blocked on Facebook. So I talked to another mutual friend and I said, hey, what's going on with Brian? And they said, well, he told me that he could not handle hearing about the Mandela effect anymore.
Uh,
So I lost my best friend over just trying to talk to him about, the anatomy. So some people maybe they just can't handle it. I mean, I really don't know.
yeah. But doesn't that seem unreasonable as, a friend you've probably known for a while and
20
to
years.
just, yeah, to respond like that? It's not how they would respond in the person you knew
No,
wouldn't have,
no,
they
they
wouldn't have
weren't.
reacted that way.
It
They
seems
would have
like
said
that they're
something like,
different people. I mean, seriously.
oh, yeah, they're different people, and it might be something even weirder than that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, they could even be alien of some sort. Like on whenever you talk to Scott Harrison, I don't know if you've talked to him a whole lot, but he'll swear that he's seen with his own eyes the Queen, where you can tell that she was a reptilian, and that she actually went on TV and apologized for it, and then there was a shift, and it was no, you just couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
It's and actually Scott will swear to that, and I sort of believe him because where I'm at with this is I don't rule out anybody's ideas because none of us truly know. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just try to keep my mind open because I have a feeling that if we ever do find out what's going on exactly, it's not going to be what we thought, or it's going to be a lot of things added together that we didn't really put together.
Well, when I talked to my sister, she was the most upset. Like she thought that I shouldn't, study this anymore. She thought it was just really, like, she was blaming the phenomena as like a confabulation, and she thought I was being brainwashed by it, but she didn't understand that I was actually seeing these drastic changes of geography and anatomy and history. So there was no reasoning.
Yeah, well, first off, let me tell you, my sister, she
Yeah,
she's actually affected
your
also.
sister.
Yeah, and so is my mother. But my sister, she can't handle the stress of being able, for me showing it to her. She just can't do it every day like I can. But I tried to explain to her, at first it's very, very stressful. But, once are into it for a while, then you're able to smile again. You're able to laugh again. But, at first it is hard. And that's why it just eats me up whenever I've heard other channels that have big channels say, well, I really don't have time for the newbies. I'm not going to waste my time talking to them. Me, I'm going to talk to any of them. If any of them need to talk to me, they can email me because I know what they were going through whenever or I know what I was going through whenever I first found the effect. And it's a hard road at first, and I feel like that we should definitely give them the time of day and try to help them through it if we can. I mean, I really don't know what anybody else thinks about that, but that's just the way I feel about it. Are you still there, Patrick? Man, I lost it again. But I'm just gonna keep on fighting every day, and I'm gonna keep on putting out videos. I'm learning how to use OBS Studio to try to make some really good videos because the free video programs I have to make videos, uh, I can only get like 4 minutes out of them, and I like to do some 15, 20 minute long videos. But the videos I put out, the only reason I put out videos other than the live streams is in hopes that maybe somebody that hasn't woken up yet might run across one and, it will wake them up. If I wake up one person, that would make me so happy because I feel like that all of us have a purpose. All the ones that are awake, I believe that we have a purpose.
Yeah.
So that's all we can do. All of us can just, try to help the other ones is what I think. But some of these other bigger channels just feel like that they ain't got the time to mess with them. But, I'm just so glad that I found the community when I did. And there was so many really, really good people that helped me because I was going through a hard time at first. I mean, really, really hard time. What about you, Chris?
Hospital.
Huh?
I was in the hospital, and right before I noticed all the changes. And I might have, did I tell you this already?
No, yeah.
And it might have been the changes, the anatomy changes might have actually been the cause of what put me there. And it seems that way because when I look like at how the kidneys went up higher and the rib cage changed and the spine changed. I was thankfully I was only there for 5 days, and while I was there, I had my computer and I was just looking at things, and I saw a map of China, and this was maybe a day before I was released back out, because the doctor said that it had totally healed, and he didn't know how, or I mean, he didn't do anything, but they were mainly just they had me on some medication, and so whatever the I forget what it's called. I got to look it up. So when I got out, I kept studying more of because China I think was the first thing that really stood out that convinced me when I saw Mongolia that something very bizarre was going on. Or at first I thought maybe they had just become a separate country, but it was just very weird. But even China itself, the shape wasn't the same. And Japan was way further to the east.
Yep.
A different place. And so it just began an entire Twilight Zone kind of feeling since then. Sorry, I'm not talking very coherently.
No, man, you are fine. I mean, I totally agree with all that. I mean, if you look at Australia, I mean, it's totally not the right size.
Right.
You know,
Australia.
U.S. I mean, it has to be bigger because we were never in. I mean, we were never number two. We never had the second largest country. I mean, from my recollection, it was Russia and China and Australia. Russia, China, and Russia and China were definitely the top two. We weren't nowhere near the top two. Maybe Canada was the third one, and we were like number four. And now we're number two somehow. So most definitely, I mean, I firmly believe that maybe Canada has shrunk some, and the U.S. has gained some ground.
Yeah.
South America is so far out of whack. I don't know how anybody couldn't miss that one. You know what I mean?
That was one of the first ones too that I saw was South America, and now, but this year, Hudson Bay just looks like it expanded. And
yes, yes.
I remember it being like half of that size before, and now it's like way out, and that makes Canada look a lot smaller.
Right, right.
But I think it did stretch up further. As I remember, Canada used to be huge, and like all the top part went up really. It seems like the globe has smaller space to fit everything
totally.
how it was.
Yes, I've definitely noticed that. I mean, it's like everything's scrunched together now. I mean, if you go to South America, you're very close to Africa, and if you go to Alaska, you can now actually see Alaska from Sarah Palin's backyard. I mean, you can actually see Russia from Sarah Palin's backyard in Alaska, and they made fun of her for that.
That is crazy, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Europe is really scrunched together and rearranged. Sweden, yes, I remember Sweden being not next to Norway. It was like where the upper Poland is now, where I remember Sweden being, and it was like 1/3 of the size it is now. Like Sweden is huge now.
Yeah, so is Greenland, and Germany was always landlocked from my memory.
Right.
And it's definitely not landlocked now.
So yeah, I don't have any prepared canned speech for this, so I don't.
I don't either. I mean, we're just, kind of spitballing here. Yeah, I asked you at the last second, and I'd like to do it again sometime, because I believe that, we really have a lot of the, same ideas on a lot of things and see a lot of the same changes, and like mine, I always like to, get a like mind together and see, where that goes.
Your channel is doing great. I really like all the episodes you're doing, and just the last 10 or so are all intriguing, and so thanks for having me on. And if I have something, it's right now I just don't have anything. I feel like I've been kind of going over these subjects a lot, so maybe I'm just in a kind of redundant exhaustion.
No, and, you're actually doing great.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I just wanted to talk to you about, the stuff that we've talked about, and, like the freaking anatomy, though. How strange is that anymore? I mean,
the liver now has those 2 compartments. It used to just be like one thing. I remember seeing like an image of what it used to look like. And now it's got this funny folding thing in the middle.
I know. Wow. I mean, whoa. I mean, it's also like they've took, everything's so crammed up together now. It looks like they've took 10 pounds of shit and put it in a 5-pound bucket. I mean, seriously.
And those lungs look like they were turned into like half the size. They used to go down.
The
kidneys were lower, and intestines were below the belly button. Now they're above the belly button. It looks really awful.
Yeah, they don't even look like they are
wiggly pattern.
I mean, they just look strange altogether.
Right. They used to go in a row from left to right,
Yeah.
and now they're like going up and down in a squiggly formation. That's totally different.
Yeah, it looks so strange. And getting back to the brain for a minute. For a minute.
Yeah.
It used to be like kind of like a broccoli type of look. It was more, smaller lobes moving around. Now it's like really thick and almost like intestine looking instead of the finer definition that I remember. And the cerebellum, I believe that's what it's at the very bottom, was like the size of a freaking maybe a very large peach seed. Now it's gigantic. I mean, it's totally freaky to me. I mean, really.
I have to check that with. I remember the part about the cerebellum. I have to check the change of the brain shape that you described. That's one I haven't noticed. So thanks for that.
Have you ever checked out Once Upon a Timeline's videos?
Oh yeah, she's really good too.
Yeah, she is. She is. I actually think I've watched all of her videos, and she hadn't said that she's a doctor, but I think maybe she's a veterinarian or something. And she has 5 videos on the brain changes. I mean, and they are just unreal. She actually has talks about all the the places that's changed the most. Has to do with the memory and has to do with recognition of objects, logos, just all kinds of different things which tie in directly to kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I would recommend anybody to check those out, most definitely.
Okay.
But
otherwise, I think.
And do you know anything about the Rock of Gibraltar? You know how it used to be on an island.
What? Oh, Thailand.
Yeah. It's it's no longer on an island now. It's actually like connected to Spain, I believe. Really strange. Really strange.
Thailand's connected to like Burma and Laos and Vietnam.
But didn't it used to be an island? From my memory, it was always an island.
There was an island where, what is it now? It was right below that area where Laos and I think it's Burma and Vietnam, and that whole area was up further.
Yeah.
And there's a couple. I have to see a map. My friend Nong, I studied the map of Thailand when my friend Nong was sending me some mail, and she was inviting me to visit there. I didn't go. I didn't really. I wasn't interested. But I was looking at the map. This was maybe 2013, and I distinctly remember seeing the island of it, and it had a higher. She lived in the mountainous area. And sometime a year later, I think it was 2014, they had a big flood.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these changes have come along in the last 2 to 4 years, the big ones anyways. If there is other changes, I really don't know because, I can look back and remember that Oscar Mayer the spelling's been changed for at least 4 years, at least 3 to 4 years, because I can remember, looking at it 3 or 4 years ago, thinking, well, I thought that was spelled different, but I thought it was just my memory, and and I'd say 90% of people do that with things they do recognize. They're like, oh, well, it's just my memory. But, most of us have learned to trust our memories, and these people, are actually being taught to not trust their memories.
Well, I mean, some of them could be missed, but I think 90% of the ones that I feel sure about, those ones I'll mention.
Right.
The ones I'm not sure about, I just kind of leave those alone.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely try to myself, because if I'm not sure about something, I definitely don't want to
Yeah.
mislead anybody in any way. You know,
Right. Right. I don't want to mislead anything, but I try to go with like the ones I feel really certain about. Like, no, that was definitely
right?
like the Sally Field speech. That was a huge change. That was bizarre.
Oh yeah, that one totally caught my mom. You know, she's like, well, number one, her name is Sally Fields, and number two, she did say, you know, you like me, you really like me.
Right.
So you know, that's one of the ones that got her.
That was really strange to
Yeah,
see.
I mean, so many though. I mean, there's just so many things that's changed.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know what they're going to do is they're going to try to tear us apart by saying, you know, that we don't all have the exact same memories on everything. But you know, I really think on probably about 80% of stuff, we have the same memory. You know, there's just a few things, you know, that people have, you know, alternate memories on. Um, but that's what they're going to try to do. You know, they're going to try to say that we're all misremembering. But, you know, all of us that are affected know better. We know that we're not misremembering. I mean, there's just too many of us remembering the same exact things. You know, if we were all remembering different things, then I could understand that. But, you
Yeah.
know, that's just not the case.
One of the big cases, I think, is that the scientific community never made an announcement that Carl Sagan was wrong, as they would have. Like, they would have said, Carl Sagan was wrong about Earth being located at the outer edge of Sagittarius Arm. But nothing like that was, you know, you would have seen it in Popular Science or in any magazine or a PBS show or something. But instead, we just find ourselves here, you
Right.
know, in Orion, and there's no historical thing that says um, Earth discovery to be not in Sagittarius or moved. It doesn't. There's no article about it from the science community.
Right. The only,
That right there tells me we just shifted to different Earth somehow. So, you know,
yeah,
because
I mean, I definitely resonate
unless
with that. But
unless the Earth went through a black hole and landed, that was the only other possibility. Or Sagan was wrong, and they just never made any announcement that he was like there was no correction telling the public.
well, the only
But
thing that I could
yeah,
find that even remotely addresses that, because I looked into it pretty heavily,
yeah,
was that the Sagittarius arm is is being pulled apart year by year by year, and it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And you know, there's not as much of the Sagittarius arm as there once was. The Milky Way's pulling it away, but that don't make sense to me because
that's news to me. I never heard that.
uh,
Wow.
I mean, but why wouldn't we still be in the Sagittarius arm? I mean, why
Right.
would we go to the Orion spur, Orion arm, whatever it is? I mean, it just the
And
theory don't
Orion,
quite add up, you know?
no, and Orion fractured too. Like when we first got here, it was one belt, and now it's like a bridge in between two others.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just so wild.
Oh,
I mean, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, he even
right.
thinks we're in Sagittarius arm still.
I saw that.
You
Yeah,
know,
I saw that.
it was like, wow, really?
And he freaked out. But he's in a kind of denial. Like he seems like he's had a downgrade somehow. Like something was veiled over his former consciousness.
Yeah, or he was paid, one or the other, you know, because you know, whenever you look around, it's hard to believe that the elect have no idea what's going on unless it
Yeah.
is truly some type of great delusion set forth by God, and the Antichrist is being allowed to do all kinds of things. I mean, that's the only other thing, and
Right.
except a simulation, you know. like I said, I leave all cards on the table. You know, I hate that. I mean, that would be the worst thing that I think could happen. But
Yeah.
it's definitely possible.
Well, and those billion, if we were 8.2 billion on Sagittarius, and now we're, I think, 7.1 billion for the world population. I I have to think that that 1 billion might be still back on Sag, if that Earth is even still there, because some theorize that it actually ended by some catastrophic thing.
Well, you have to think the Mayans could have been onto something with all their theories that the world was going to end.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
could have just been asleep when it happened and just suddenly. But the thing is, if it happened in 2012, then why did it take 4 years for me to see all the
yeah, yeah. I totally agree with
changes?
that.
Yeah.
It seems
No.
like we would have noticed quicker if it, happened in 2012. I mean, I truly
Yeah.
believe that this maybe started just maybe a few years ago. I mean, really. I mean, I really
Yeah.
do.
Well, do you remember the blood moon of September 2015, when
Yeah.
CERN they stepped up their power to the a level that they had never done before.
Right.
That is, and it was right, like it was a day after the blood moon or something like that. I think that is when I think that's when I shifted
Well, let me tell you.
as a theory.
all all these big celebrities are going to CERN. Metallica's been there. Tom Hanks, blah blah blah. So many of them. And now China is building one twice as big.
Yeah.
Okay, uh,
Oh my
China would
God.
not do that if there wasn't something for them to get out of it big time because
Wow.
they're not going to waste money like we do. I mean, they're just so much better with money than we are.
It's really right out of a sci-fi novel. And maybe sometimes I'm wondering if the effect as humans and acting as humans, but they're the ones that abducted us here, and we're in like a fish tank version of the old Earth. It's like they tried to make it to an exact replica, but the mold didn't quite turn out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe they, if we are in some type of simulated reality and it was somebody trying to save us, maybe they had to do it by people's memories, and maybe people's memories weren't exactly correct on certain things, So, I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
Memories are fallible, but
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that I just know is wrong, and you'll never ever talk me out of that.
yeah. And
Ever.
just it's totally ridiculous. It moved so far to the west, um, on and on. So it's not my memory. I know what I remember.
Yeah, me too, and I'm not going to be swayed and
Yeah,
told, that I don't remember the things that I know that I do, especially
yeah.
like when I look at the, geography and I look at anatomy, it just blows me away. I mean, it's just so foreign to me, just so foreign.
Well, after talking to my sister and my brother, I just feel like they were always here, and if unless they're robots or clones or something that are just programmed to respond in that way, I I think that we're visiting their world. They're the people that this was always their. This is where they always lived, and we're just like so. For just hearing what we're seeing would sound completely crazy to them. So in a way, it does make sense the way they're responding. Like You know, that's crazy. You can't believe that.
Yeah, I mean, it actually does make a lot of sense because, I can even hear myself talking, and if I didn't know better, I would think I was crazy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
I
I can,
agree.
I mean, so I can totally, totally understand where they're coming from,
Right.
but I just
Yeah,
have
you
a
got to
hard
put yourself in their shoes and think, well, how would I respond if my brother started telling me, seeing all these changes, and I'm
time. Yeah, actually, I went to the doctor today, and my doctor don't see any of the changes, but they also have a psychiatrist there, which I was kind of hesitant to tell her too much, but I've talked to her a couple times, and
wow.
she's like totally affected, but it bothers her so bad that she don't even want to check into it. It like starts irking her so bad that she don't even want to look into it.
Right.
So I ain't been pushing it too much with her, but
Wow.
I mean, I believe everybody that you can just push them to a certain point, and if you keep on pushing, then what happened with my best friend can happen. They'll just sever ties with you.
Mhm.
So, I try not to push as hard as I did at one time, but
Yeah.
I do feel
You
like
miss
nobody's ready.
your old friend that you knew for 20 years.
Totally,
You try
totally.
to call them.
I've tried to call him. I've tried to text him. He even blocked me on Facebook. Uh,
He thinks you really lost it, eh?
I mean, I don't know. I reckon he. I mean, he freaking told another friend that that he was just so tired of talking about the
Oh,
Mandela effect. So
that's sad.
it is.
Well,
Because we're
yeah,
friends for 20 years.
yeah.
So
It almost seems like some invisible demon deliberately goes around and sabotages friendships.
yeah, it does totally. I mean, totally. Um, just hopefully, all I'm doing is I'm, trying to,
He's
keep
been
live
having.
streams coming and keep videos coming, and hopefully I can wake up people.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I can do.
Well, I think maybe you don't have to bring up the entire subject. Maybe just if you're gonna mention it, just bring up one thing, and then if that seems like one major thing, JFK or um,
Let me ask you what you remember on one.
to me that makes me think they might be from Sagittarius.
Right. See, that's what I done with my father. He actually described the JFK assassination
Yeah,
the way that I remember it. Okay.
yeah,
So I went on to some other things, and one of them he agreed to fit. But then I got to Harley Davidson because
right,
I always had Harleys,
yeah.
and I could be wrong, but I was almost sure that Davison was spelled Davison, and
Huh.
now it has two D's, David Son.
It has two D's.
Yeah, and he does not remember
I
that at all. He
I
says it
worked.
always had two D's.
Oh, I worked at Harley Davidson in Milwaukee, just doing part assembly line, and it always had one D for me.
Me too. Me too. And it
Wow,
just blew my mind that he, didn't see that change.
that's amazing.
Yeah, and he just, I'm gonna be honest. He seems like a different person than he was a few years ago, and I noticed the change right off the bat. But I thought, maybe he was getting a little older and just maybe a little
No.
meaner, a little greedier, uh, things like that. But I'm starting to think that he's not the guy that raised me.
Wow. So now, oh, that's sad too, man. Well, we gotta, encourage other people in this, and it's fascinating yet scary at the same time, and yet like the reason I pray more now is because some days I do get really frazzled by this. You can just tell.
Are you there, Patrick, buddy? I can't hear you. Okay. Well, his picture's still up. He'll be back either way. Rain, if you can hear me, would you be interested in coming on for a few minutes and talking? I'm not going to be on but maybe 10 or 15 minutes more. I'd like to, have you on a live stream by yourself for the next few days or something like that. But if you'd like to join the conversation, let me know and I'll send you a link. Patrick, are you back? I believe we lost Patrick, which is Preliminimal. Been working on that one. But if you'd like to come on for a few minutes, Rain, let me know. If not, we'll try to set a date, maybe tomorrow evening or something, and I'd love to have you on. It is 9:23 p.m. here in Tennessee right now, Eastern time. So, if another time would, be better for you, if you're interested, let me know, and I'd love to have you on. All right, guys. Well, it's been about an hour now, and I don't know if anybody else is going on tonight. I'm looking, and I'm not seeing anybody, but it don't mean that nobody is coming on. I'm gonna go ahead and read. Yeah, Rain, that would be great. I'm gonna go ahead and read this Romans, which was my Bible verse that popped up today, which it was when I was having a little bit of doubt about the Bible changes. This right here popped up as my Bible verses for the day, and I want to read it so Rain can hear it. Because it really spoke to me, and maybe it'll speak to y'all. It says Romans 13:6-8. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor, owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. And to me, that just spoke to me, so I thought that I would let y'all hear that one more time. I'm gonna write preliminal. Yeah, brother. Thank you for being on. I would really like to have Vanny Rose on sometime too. We had an excellent conversation through Facebook Messenger. If you're interested, Vanny Rose, to come on, just let me know, and I'd love to have you on sometime too. And Rain, just let me know. You can email me, or you can just put something down here on my comment section. Are you back, brother?
Yeah, it keeps going off. I was in the middle of explaining something, and it just went off. My connection must not be that good.
Well, they're probably trying to shut us down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. We're making too much sense.
Yeah, totally making too much sense. We're scaring them. The AI keeps shutting us down.
We're having an overload. It's computers trying to computer clones.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that weird? No, because I was looking at my nephews, and I thought they just seem like a whole different breed of human to me.
They do, don't they? Especially the young kids. I mean, they're like, wow.
They're different. Yeah, they're different. Not the same kind of humans. Maybe from a different part of the galaxy. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know. I would be. I mean, as I was speaking earlier, that maybe we hadn't went through the changes, that they have. I would love to see some DNA testing done on,
Yeah,
these
that's
other
amazing.
people.
Wow. Compare the two, the affected DNA with the non-affected.
Yes, exactly.
Whoa.
Exactly. I mean,
Okay, Brandon, I think we'll leave on a good note there. It's a good insight.
yeah. So,
I'll let you finish. I'm just going to take off. So
all right,
thanks,
brother.
thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me. Okay.
All right. I'm going to do a shout out real quick to everybody that's in the room or has been in the room. We have Vanny Rose, sporting the wrench. We have Poppy Elm. We also have Gate Grow. We also have Chris Fitzpatrick. We have Rain on the Plains. Let's see if we have anybody else here. We have Brandon Holzer sporting a crown. Oh, never mind. That's me. Ooh, okay. We also have Preliminimal. I had to say that, Patrick, because I know that it's hard to say. I had to practice for about 5 minutes to get it right. But anyways, y'all, I hope you enjoyed my show today. And I've learned how to use Hangouts now. So if anybody wants to come on the show, let me know, and we'll get you on here and try to have some interviews from now on. I want everybody to, everybody that does pray, to pray for Dave. He's been in a couple of my live streams. He's also been in some of my videos. He entered a facility for rehab, and I'd just like everybody to pray for him. And if you don't pray, just send good vibes or whatever you do, send them his way, because I'd like to see him, defeat this problem, y'all. But, just one more thing. Everybody, I think that we really, really need to start supporting each other more, because there's strength in support. And we need to start loving one another more. And it is hard. It is hard to not be judgmental. It is hard to love one another as you would like to be loved. But, I think that's a very, very good thing. A very good thing. So, just, think about that. I'm sure everybody wants to be treated the same way, that they treat others. So, maybe we can all try that and see how that works out. But just know, y'all have my support. If you ever want to email me, you know where to go. It's on About. And if you hadn't subscribed, subscribe. It doesn't cost a thing. And hit that like button. So I want to thank all y'all. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And trust your memories. Trust your memories. Thank y'all. Have a wonderful day. Much love.